Hey, y'all, what it is, we back again on the track again. They don't like it because we're African on display. It's the big bounce how bounce dog can't poke through the doubt. Hit the top to the boxer. Before I get in my solidification, make sure turns on last good people do the not for cut them in the five line, maybe matter. And I mean that. We got to introduce our other host, man. Future Hall of Famer legend. I told y'all, don't be shocked if this man is on the apron with a professional fighter in the championship bout. Coach B, aka Brother on the Hustle. Let them know what's going on with you, man.
Appreciate the introduction. Y'all know what it is, man. Same old, same old. Hey, God put breath in your body. Everything's extra. Take care of the fam. Take care of you and do what you got to do.
Already. We're going to transition into the main dish, the main entree, the meat potatoes of the situation. Shakur Stevenson calls out Teofimo Lopez at 140 for his WBO title. This stems after Teofimo Lopez retweeted Javier Herrera, who is an undefeated fighter. I believe he has 17 wins, 15 of them by knockout. He fights at 135. He's a Cuban boxer, a knockout artist. He wants to fight Shakur Stevenson. He's kind of upset that Shakur Stevenson didn't pick him to be the fill-in when Schofield stepped down or had his little issue, whatever it was. Hope Schofield's okay. But since then, there's been a little back and forth between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Teofimo Lopez has since made another video calling Shakur Stevenson soft, but that's another video that me and Coach will make about that. But, Coach, I want to get your opinion on this. Shakur Stevenson calling out Teofimo, and if they were to fight, who will win? And do you think this fight can actually go over the hill? And is it smart for Shakur Stevenson to go up to 140 and fight a Teofimo Lopez, knowing that he has guys on his heels at 135 that he could fight? Let me know something.
I'll be dead ass right here. Excuse my French. Pause. No freak is in full effect from this point on. I'm be serious right here. Dead ass. You know, when you talk about Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson and them possibly, finally starting to call each other out and possibly get some contracts on the way and get something going to fight each other. If we rewind the hands of time, there was a point in both their careers almost, identical, parallel. These guys are pound for pound kings. They're part of the four kings. So when you talk about these two matching up, in the past, the near past, short past, not too long ago, this would be one of those fights, in my opinion, that'll be like, oh man, we finally got an elite versus an elite, a great versus a great, and so on. So when you talk about these two getting in the ring with each other, to me, in my opinion, this is good for both of them because both of them are hurting. They're both 27 years of age. These are guys that people look at as the elite of the elite when it comes to boxing, especially with Shakur. They believe he's the all-seeing god of boxing. He's the next fighter closest to Floyd Mayweather, whatever the case may be when it comes to Shakur. People got high expectations and a high ceiling for Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying? And other people, don't have the same perspective. And I agree because it's Shakur's missing a lot. Same thing with Teofimo. He's missing a lot. At one point you had people holding him at the top of the pinnacle, after, a couple wins, and then he has some inconsistent, questionable fights. So both of these guys are hurting. They're slowly sinking at an early point in their careers, and they both need something to get over the edge. And I think this fight should happen. It should have been happened. We need to see it. Shakur, I don't care if you are at 135 and you got guys on your ass trying to come get what you got. I think you should move up to 140 in my opinion and fight Teofimo Lopez. Both of y'all need to fight. Like I say, this is one of those fights where nobody can gripe and complain about nothing, because why? Whichever guy loses it's not a bad loss. That a lot of fighters can't take losing these days, and that's what makes y'all look soft, as Teofimo Lopez said. That's what makes y'all really look soft. Y'all don't know how to take L's these days. Y'all got too many explanations, too many excuses, too many whatever. I used to tell my fighters in the gym all the time, I love to win. I love to see y'all win. But I'm telling you, you got to be able to learn and accept the loss better than you can accept the win. Because when you win, you win. It's not too much to build off of. But when you lose, it's everything to build off of. You can go see what you did wrong. You can see your mental lapses. You can see where were idling in the ring. You were just standing there. You were a sitting duck, and you got, you know what I'm saying? With a loss, you can learn a lot more about yourself as a fighter. With a win, it's kind of like, okay, I beat this guy. But you can ask, how did you beat him? Did you wash him, or was it close? You know what I'm saying? So you can learn a little bit, but these guys don't know how to take L's. But long story short, I like this fight. I think this fight should have been already created when they were in their prime. They're still kind of, floating around the prime age, in my opinion. But at the same time, this fight should get done. Shakur, move up, fight Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is also, he's out. He crying for help. You know what I'm saying? So he's starting to take shots at whoever he can take shots at, and whoever get caught, turn into some bait. You got to get in there and deal with Teofimo Lopez. Now, Teofimo Lopez, he's inconsistent as of lately. Teofimo Lopez has, has struggles, with certain fighters in his last few fights. Claggett, Ortiz, Taylor. To me, I feel like it was a struggling Teofimo Lopez. Now with Shakur, last 3 fights, Padley, Harutyan, and De Los Santos. Neither one of those resumes, when you look at Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, scream great, especially in the way that, some of these fights went to decision. You couldn't get rid of certain guys. You were scared to take a punch for Shakur and so forth. With Teofimo Lopez, he letting guys escape towards his lead hand, can't cut off the ring. Like, come on, man. Y'all supposed to be the elite of the elite. Come on, both of y'all need to get in there, get this fight done. I like it. I said that already. But if I had to choose a fighter to win this fight, I'm going to be dead ass with y'all again. I'm going to take Teofimo Lopez simply. Why? Because if he is on, when he is on, that I don't think Shakur Stevenson would know what to do with the athleticism, the slickness, and the IQ level of a Teofimo Lopez at his pinnacle. Now, Shakur Stevenson at his pinnacle, his defense is top notch. His timing with his straight punches are top notch. But that's all we know from Shakur Stevenson. Master of distance, you can add that in there, cool. But with Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him put together fights when we've seen him put himself together in a 100% complete style of Teofimo Lopez, and we see he can be one of those nightmares at times if he's on. When he's on, he's on, but when he's off, he's off. So to see these two get in there, I think Teofimo Lopez has a slight advantage when it comes to skill set, athleticism, and IQ. Now, Shakur Stevenson, he has the advantage with the master distance. He's a little bit more sharpened on the defensive side of things, and I think it's going to be a great match, but I think Teofimo Lopez has him outmatched, in my opinion.
Truthfully, I just got a PSA for all the young fighters. I'm about to go left, so buckle up. All these young fighters, stop running from smoke. Okay, all this talking that these guys are doing, Teofimo, Shakur, Keyshawn, stop doing that, bro. Okay, if y'all not ready to fight, then don't say nothing. Okay, how I know you ready to fight is if your representation reach out to that other dude representation. All this talking in the media and all these politic games, throw that in the trash. Okay, do I think this fight will happen? No. Do I think that this fight can happen or should happen? Let me say this. Yes. Because why? They have Turkey LC. Turkey LC, Mr. Turk is Mr. Batik is the man that like to waste money. So there's no reason, if they do what they're supposed to do and use their representation to reach out to each other to make this fight happen. Right? Shakur Stevenson said he don't need Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay, cool. Stop that talking. Tell your representation, tell Jay Prince, reach out to Teofimo representation and get this fight over the hill. Nah, Teofimo is finna fight Arnold Barboza. Arnold Barboza look like he gang, right? He look like he coming to fight. So we don't know what Teofimo, what version of Teofimo, Teofimo don't even look focused to me. He look like he kind of overlooking Arnold Barboza. So I'm just gonna be real. We don't know if he gonna win that fight. I would favor Teofimo Lopez, but he might not get out that fight. He might leave out there with an L. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because Arnold Barboza he talk you sense the sense of belief in him. Like it's oozing. Like I'm finna put hands, fists, and feet on Teofimo. You know what I mean? So don't be shocked. I'm not sitting here saying Arnold Barboza gonna win. I don't got dog in the race, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, that boy Arnold Barboza look locked in, and Teofimo over here playing. He worrying about Shakur and calling Tank and Terrence Crawford monkey steel and all type of stuff. So calling Richardson Hitchens charcoal smoke or black ash or whatever, like all this racist stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see, but I just need all these fighters to stop talking. Now, who are I picking that fight? Teofimo, off the muscle. Okay. Shakur fights one way. He's a masterclass boxer, master of distance. But that's all he got to the table. He lacks offense. What does he have to keep Teofimo Lopez off of him? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Teofimo could cut the ring off. Teofimo is athletic, and every big fight that Teofimo Lopez has been in, he's risen to the occasion. Lomachenko rose up. Josh Taylor rose up. Okay? Now, when he fight no-name guys, that's when he don't rise up. And that's why I say he needs to be careful in this Barboza fight, because all the no-name guys, he fights to their level. But he rises up when he got a name in there. So, if he getting there with Shakur, I'm predicting a knockout. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he knocks out Shakur Stevenson. I don't see a way Shakur Stevenson could beat Teofimo Lopez. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. Especially fighting one way. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you mention Shakur Stevenson fights one way, people get upset. Like, it's nothing. There are a lot of guys that are legends in the Hall of Fame that fight one way. You know what I'm saying? Like, they mastered that style. It's nothing wrong with it. But it's like people feel like, oh, Shakur, because they are a fan of him, oh, Shakur can do this. No, he can't. He's a boxer. He's a master-class boxer. He don't like getting hit, which I know somebody's stupid in the conversation. So nobody likes getting hit. He don't like getting hit because sometimes you got to take certain punches to get your punch off. Shakur not taking no risk. He's not a risk taker in there. He plays it very careful. So, but to get back on topic, these fighters need to stop talking. I mean, Coach, looking at it from a broad perspective, when you look at the current landscape of boxing, and then we're going to segue off into the next one after you talk, is there an issue to you with the current landscape of boxing? I mean, we kind of talked about this on one of our videos. I don't remember. We record a lot. But looking at the young landscape, who right now can you say is just about that life to you? Who do you pinpoint and say, you know what, man, that dude, he doing it the right way? Or are all these fighters just doing a lot of talking and ain't a lot of action? Let me know something.
You got some true dogs out there. They're about action. They say what they got to say and they go do what they got to do. One guy, Bam Rodriguez, got to give him his respect. Abdullah Mason, got to give him his respect. And Cornell Moulton, he's slowly getting there, but you got to give him his respect. There's some guys out there in the current landscape of boxing that are doing it the right way. They quiet, they silent boogeymen. They wait until they get to the, to the fight, to the ring, to let all that talking. They let their hands talk for them. Excuse me, I said it wrong. They wait until they get the ring to reply to whatever's said to them, if that makes sense. They don't do no talking, but they do all the walking. I can respect that. The guys that I named. There's other guys out there, but I'm just giving a short list. And with that being said, it's some good guys. There's some good role models out there, but they just young. So right now, everybody's still hung up on the guys that's still around, the Canelos, the Benavidez's, the Crawfords, Tanks, Shakurs, Garcias, Lopez's. They're hanging on to that. And right now, it's to me, in my opinion, it's too much barking. It's too much barking. Somebody got to go out there and back it up. Like, stop all that talking, stop all that chit chat. Because at the end of the day, when you don't perform to a certain expectation that the people heard you say that you were going to deliver to them, we not in that same age where people who rocking with you gonna rock with you till the wheels fall off. We in that day and age where He can't make me no money. He lose and I can't rock with him. Like if they winning, they own, they rocking with him. We in that flip flop era, from boxing fans too as well. So with that being said, it's the role models aren't great these days when it comes to the receiving negative criticism. Like they all react in a negative manner. Just get in there and do what you got to do. Cut all that chit chat out. Stop. Get off the internet, because the internet ain't a place that's friendly and it ain't gonna make you feel good. Period. Sometimes it do, but most of the time it don't. So get off of it, especially when you're in the spotlight. Under the big lights, people know they can go Google your life. Come on now. Stop it. Be better role models at the top. But I'm done with that.
Big facts, big fact. We're gonna segue off into the next one. Gervonta Tank Davis, man. If he rematches Lamont Roach, what should his next fight be? Lamont Roach? Should he rematch Ryan Garcia? Or should he fight Lomachenko? Or look at Shakur or Keyshawn Davis? I mean, it's a lot of talk about Tank right now. You know what I mean? On my channel, they've been trying to say Tank sucks and, he trash, he a C-level fighter and all this other stuff. But we all know the truth. We ain't gonna get in all that. No. So, Coach, for starters, what do you feel about that C-level fighter talk? What do you think his options should be? Should he look to fight Ryan at 147, which that dude little. I don't see him going at 147, so it had to be at a catch weight or maybe at 40. Or should he fight Lamont Roach? Should he fight Lomachenko next? Because Lomachenko's representation has came out and said they want to fight Tank. If they had to pick, they picking Tank over Shakur. Or, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Russell. I mean, the list goes on. We can mention many fights, but what do you think Tank should do next? Let me know something.
There's a lot on my boy plate right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot on Tank plate right now. And the way it's set up, you almost want to say it's set up for politics to get their piece of the pie. It's set up for the Tank haters to say something. It's already set in place. If he don't fight Lomachenko, oh, well, he ain't fight Lomachenko when Lomachenko finally reached out to him. Okay, whatever. Oh, he ain't rematched Lamont Roach because Lamont Roach really won the first fight, and Tank know he can't beat him. If he rematched Ryan at 147, he too little. So we know Ryan, you know what I'm saying? If Ryan should win, Tank should win that because he's an almighty puncher, but at 147, he already said he's scared to go up there. So the excuses is already built in my opinion. When the odds are stacked against Tank. His plate is full. It doesn't matter which decision he makes right now. Like I say, he can rematch Ryan. He can rematch Roach. He can fight Lomachenko. He can go left and try to get Keyshawn Davis or Shakur to get in there. But everything's stacked up against him. No matter which one he's fighting, he's in the corner to where he's not going to satisfy the fans anymore. They seen what they wanted, which was the draw. That was good enough for them. They're going to take it and run with it. Now they calling the guy a C-level fighter. That's crazy. I'm not even going to get into that. But like I just said, you see what type of era of people we are in. Boxing fans. Either they with you one day and they gone the next. And that all depends on if you winning or losing. If you winning, they good with you. If you losing, they bad with you. So it is what it is. I just said that. But that ties into that. So honestly, to cut the chase down, I think you should go ahead and rematch Lamont Roach. Because in my opinion, that's where it'll do Tank himself some justice. I can care less about pleasing any haters, shutting up any haters. I feel like himself deep down inside, Tank knows he needs to rematch Lamont Roach, and that'll do the most justice for Tank himself. That'll make him feel better in his career. Because why? He just got the big. It was the eyes were on him. He just stepped in the ring with the biggest challenge since he's been a professional. And Lamont Roach, he brought it. He brought it. He showed a different side. He showed that, you know what I'm saying? Dedication, hard work, longevity, IQ, doing what you're supposed to do. You can get in there and you can make a controversial fight with an elite fighter. Lamont Roach got in there, he did his thing. But again, I seen a draw in that fight. I'm not changing it. I already spoke on why I seen a draw. You can go back and watch the other video. But anyways, I think Tank fighting Lamont Roach would do the biggest justice for Tank himself, because he knows that was a good fight. It was a draw. He knows he didn't give it his all. He knows he wasn't focused. He knows his corner was a disarray. Tank knows all of this. He said it out of his own mouth. He said, I wasn't taking advantage of the moment. I wasn't taking advantage of the opportunity. I wasn't being myself. Tank said this out of his own mouth. And that's a dangerous man. When he didn't sat there and watched how it became a draw, he can admit to how it became a draw, and he ready to correct everything and do it again. That's a dangerous man. I can respect a man like that. So in my opinion, I think the Lamont Roach fight is the biggest fight. And I think Tank need to go for that rematch. And after that, go light everybody else up. Go light them up. Light their asses up, though. Because all the other names we mentioned outside of Lomachenko, I don't believe they can do anything with Tank. And I'm done with that subject.
Yeah, the fight is Lamont Roach. I'll answer directly. When you have a fight like that, you have to go directly into the fire. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you have a bad performance at the office and everybody is not questioning if you're a top fighter at 135, which is egregious to me. But it is what it is. It comes with the territory. We live in a era where like one bad performance ruins your legacy, almost, which is ridiculous. That's why I don't really like the 2020s, man. But I think that Tank internally, outwardly, his bullseye need to be on Lamont Roach. He don't need to be thinking about Shakur. He don't need to be thinking about nobody else but Lamont Roach. Your job is to get in there and perform better than what you did in the first fight. Now, we shall see how he does. Lamont Roach is a game fighter. He's very skillful. I even told you, I said Lamont Roach got skills, right? There's a lot of fighters that say Lamont Roach got skills. That's why I don't understand how people sitting there talking about Tank struggle with Lamont Roach like Lamont Roach is trash. Right. There's a lot of fighters, and Coach can attest to this. And Coach, you tell me if I'm lying. Feel free to interrupt me if I'm lying. There are a lot of fighters who aren't mainstream that can fight and can beat a lot of these mainstream fighters. There's a lot of skillful fighters that aren't signed to major promotional companies, that don't have the backing of a major promoter to play politics with them, that got a lot of skills. And if they got that opportunity, and these pro fighters, these top fighters know that if they give these dudes opportunity, they can beat these top guys. Am I lying, Coach?
No, we just seen one not too long ago. Not saying he's underrated. He doesn't have the backing, but Antoine Russell, like, come on now. Like, that's one of those guys K-Po talking about. Look what he just did to El Rayo. Look what he just did. So you mean to tell me a guy who can move like that, think like that, box like that, uphold, take a punch like that, keep his stamina up through an entire fight, you telling me he can't get in the ring and present a challenge to Tank? Like, come on, let's stop it. Let's stop making it seem like it's not guys out there who can get in there and give guys like Shakur, Tank, Canelo, Crawford, anybody you want to name a run for their money. There's guys out there. But they just don't have that. They just don't have the backing, the politics, and the promotional companies behind them to get them there. But when they finally get them there, guess what? It's hell to tell the captain. It's guys out there. You gotta stop thinking like these guys are the guys and the elite of the elite. No, it's people out there who can get out there and get with them. Boxing, that's what boxing is. Boxing is basically, especially professional, you only going against the best of the best. Those are the guys that then got there and done it, especially when they're under the big lights. Come on now, stop it.
Like I said before, and like Coach just said, I don't need to say nothing else. You know what I mean? Tank focus need to be Lamont Roach. That's it. Now, there's been an update. Ring Magazine. Terrence Crawford says that he wants Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis on his undercard. This is so disrespectful. On his undercard when he fights Canelo in September. He said that would be dope. He says, but Tank gotta get rid of his cockiness and humble himself and fight Shakur Stevenson on the undercard. Coach, do you think that'll be dope if Tank fought Shakur Stevenson on the undercard of Terrence Crawford versus Canelo? It's just dropped on Ring Magazine. Let me know something.
Hey, shout out to my boy down there in Alabama. Ooh, the disrespect. Like, what? You want me and Shakur? I'm Tank. You want me and Shakur to be undercard on your card with Canelo? Man, please. We can go do this ourselves. The disrespect. You want us to be an undercard. That'll be dope to you. Okay, cool, whatever. All right, little big bro. I'ma holler at you. We're gonna go do our own thing. But anyway, like I said, it's crazy. That's crazy. The disrespect. What was the second part of the question? What?
It just is so egregious to me, I forgot. But he just said if Tank wasn't so cocky and he humbled himself, it would be dope for him to be on the undercard. So is Tank too cocky for him not wanting to be on Terrence Crawford's undercard? Let me say this. Gervonta Tank Davis does better numbers and everything than Terrence Crawford. I just want y'all to know that. Okay? Shakur Stevenson ain't did nothing in his career. Okay? This would be like Shakur Stevenson, it would benefit Shakur Stevenson more than Tank. But I'm sorry. Coach, continue to cook. I mean, because you know me, I get to talk. So,
right.
What you think about that? Tank cocky, is it wrong for him to be rejected? Let me know something.
I feel like that statement is very contradicting coming from Terrence Crawford. Listen to me. I'm gonna say this again. I feel like that statement is very contradicting to me coming from Terrence Crawford. And I'm gonna break it down in the simplest terms from the get-go. He calling Tank cocky. But is Terrence Crawford not cocky? I mean, what he's doing right now is very cocky, in my opinion. You're going up 2 weight classes to say you got the skill set and the IQ to go up there and beat Canelo. That's cocky at his finest. That's calling Tank cocky is what? That's crazy. That's a bold statement. That's overly confident. That's believing in yourself to a whole nother degree. That's crazy. That's cockiness at its finest, and I'm gonna highlight that. Terrence Crawford wants to go up 2 weight classes, release some belts and everything, leave that all behind. He done it twice now. To move up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez, skipping the line and everything. And he's saying he can beat him. No problem. That ain't cocky? Don't worry. I'll wait. K-Po, you got it.
Another thing I want to throw up. This man ain't got no tune-up. He's sitting on the sidelines waiting for Canelo to win undisputed, and then he gonna fight him in December. And you got people trying to make excuses and advocate for that. Oh, Terrence not trying to mess up the bag. No, Terrence trying to make sure that he get paid. That's what he trying to make sure he do. That's why he waiting on the sideline. See, you can't pee on me and tell me it's rain. I don't care what you say. That man waiting to get paid. That's what it is. Okay? That's cockiness right there. And then you want to say, Tank, a dude that you openly admitted and said, I don't like him. So the disrespect of a fighter who does way better numbers than you, who's made more money in his career. But we're not talking about money. We're talking about a fighter that has done more in the sport, right? Without even winning belts. Just outperforming you by his pay-per-view numbers. Every fight. You want him on your undercard for Canelo. As if you call the shots. No. Canelo called the shots. The only reason why you're in this position, Terrence Crawford, is because you sold your soul to that man over there wearing them dresses. Turkey Al-Sheikh. Turkey Al-Sheikh was willing to waste money and give Canelo whatever dollar he wanted. And Canelo became a prostitute. We gonna keep it 1,000. Sold his soul. We just being real. He came a prostitute when Turkey Al-Sheikh threw that money at him. He said, "Oh yeah, what you want me to do for it?" Fight Terrence Crawford's deal.
That's crazy.
That's the only reason why this fight is happening. Terrence Crawford didn't earn this fight. Terrence Crawford didn't go to 168 and go through the ringer and earn this fight. He didn't go up there and fight Caleb Plant. He didn't go up there and fight Yildirim. He didn't go up there and fight any of Canelo's former opponents to earn this opportunity. He skipped the line, like Coach mentioned, because he's tied in with the guy with the money. That's the only reason why Canelo is fighting this man. I can keep going, Coach. I'm tossing back to you. I can really this would be a 2-hour video if I could talk strictly about that. But Coach, I'm gonna toss it back to you so you can finish your soliloquy, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Right. Besides all that, you know what I'm saying? Just I'm ready for this Terrence Crawford thing to be over with. I ain't gonna lie, man. I've seen what I needed to see from him. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a decorated boxer. He's done all that he can do, you know, within his time frame in the sport. And I respect, you know, some people needed to see it. Some people wanted to see it. Some people got to see it, you know. So I'm not taking away nothing from Terrence Crawford, the fighter. But the person is crazy, man. It's crazy. You can't sit here and politic. Well, you can't sit here and go from, you know what I'm saying, from the street and then you get to the top and become a politician. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how that works. Now you trying to politic with the big dogs and say you this and say you that, and then you calling other people cocky that need to be humble. Like, come on, man. Like, I expect more out of Terrence Crawford right now. What is he, 37, 38 years of age? You know, paying homage should be his thing. Paying homage to what he's done for the sport, to what the other young black fighters are doing for the sport, and not just the black fighters, just fighters in general. Don't sit there and start trying to act like you paved the way for everybody, because you ain't done nothing special. Ain't nobody, you know, coming up off your coattail. You ain't paving the way for nobody. You doing it for you. And I can harp on it all day long too, but at the same time, I just expect more out of Terrence Crawford. Especially with him being seasoned, a real life vet. You know what I'm saying? 37 years old, you're a real life vet. Let alone a boxing general. Like, come on, man. Stop playing like that.
I second everything you said. Let's segue over to the next one. Back on Terrence Crawford. According to WBO president Gustavo Olivetti, who's best friends with Terrence Crawford, has confirmed Terrence Crawford will not be returning to the super welterweight division. Those of you who are casual fans who don't know, that's 154 pounds, and will relinquish his interim belt. Now, he had the WBO interim belt, so that belt was supposed to basically be his opportunity for him to fight Sebastian Fundora. But since he's relinquishing that belt, Xander Zayas is like to be named the mandatory challenger for Sebastian Fundora's WBO title. So, Coach, toss it to you. What do you feel about Terrence Crawford relinquishing that belt at 154 pounds? Also, what do you feel about Xander Zayas getting an opportunity to fight Sebastian Fundora? Let me know something. I think Coach had some technical difficulties, so I'm gonna pick it up.
My bad. I had my fault. My fault. I had my mic muted. My bad. My bad. My bad.
Oh, okay.
My fault. But yeah, for Xander Zayas and Sebastian Fundora, good for them. I like that fight. Two young fighters ready to step into the lights of their own. They both been doing a solid job with what's been given to them, what's been put in front of them. They both are still learning their own, especially Fundora. He's getting a little bit more. He's trying to get himself together behind that jab, and I feel like once he figures that jab out, he'll be a hell of a champion. He got to pick up his footwork a little bit more too. But I understand it's kind of hard moving something 6'5" plus, 6'7" plus, in the way a boxer's supposed to move. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? So much respect to him. Xander Zayas, he's been on fuego, since he's entered the pro ranking. So it is what it is. Much respect to both those guys. I like that fight. You know what I'm saying? And like I would say, hey, may the best man win in that fight. Good luck, Zayas. I know, because dealing with that, the Inferno, what's the name? The Inferno Tower. Dealing with that's tough for anybody. But anyways, like I say, on to the next one, next subject. I don't know. Since we back on Terence Crawford, man, I hope he really settled in what he's trying to accomplish. I get it, getting the bag before the final bell rings is important. But I hope what he's going for is just all fulfilled in his manner, because I feel like he's leaving a lot behind on my behalf. In my opinion, I feel like he's leaving a lot behind. In this division, just giving away the belts, because I feel like the guys that's behind the Terence Crawford, all would be a good fight. In my opinion, he could have got out there with a Charlo. He could have got out there with a Adames, Landy Lara, Fundora, Janibek. Those are names I see he can get out there with. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's leaving a lot behind by going chase the bag, but at the same time, it is what it is. I get it. He's trying to get paid and take care of himself for the rest of his life and his family. I get it. But at the same time, I feel like you could have got some money off of the other names I just mentioned too as well. And then you could have extended your legacy and made it, a little bit more solidified for those who do hate on the Terence Crawford. I'm no hater on the Terence Crawford, but at the same time, some people just got him on too high of a pedestal. And if you're willing to chop it up about it, comment about it, whatever, go live about it, we can chop it up all day. I ain't running for no smoke. But anyways, like I said, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Xander Zayas. Shout out to Fundora. I feel like that's a good fight for Crawford. Hey, man, the ball is in your court as we see. Hey, I hope you're making the right decision for you.
For a guy who is coming off of a career-defining win, he beat Errol Spence, right? Beat Errol. I feel like he lost to Madrimov, but it is what it is. I know a lot of y'all, but hey, that's what I saw. I don't feel like he did enough to beat Madrimov. I don't care what y'all talking about. But you throw that away and go be a prostitute like Canelo, and you go up to 168 because you trying to get that Canelo money. I'm sorry, you're passing up legacy to fight a Canelo payday. Now I know what y'all gonna say. I'm 20 steps ahead of y'all. Oh, how is he? Canelo, da da da. Canelo is a Hall of Famer. Canelo is a Hall of Famer. But if you're gonna go in that weight class, you fight those dogs in that weight class and earn your right to fight Canelo Alvarez. You don't go up there and boss hog your way into a contention with Canelo Alvarez. So, in my opinion, I feel like he did something basically along the lines of, at the club, he knew who the bouncer, he knew the club owner. He hollered at the club owner. He got to the front of the line and he in the club dancing. That's what happened. He finna get in the club and dance with Canelo. There are a lot of top fights at 54 for him. There are fights at 60 he could have made. He could have bounced between those two weight classes. You know what I mean? A lot of top fights. Murder Zalev. and the list goes on. Coach B already named him. I just feel like when it comes to Crawford, he could do no wrong in people's eyes. He can do no wrong, and it's like everybody want to ignore what he's doing and come up with these fictitious fallacies and missionary statements and visions that Terrence Crawford is on. Terrence Crawford is fighting Canelo because he want to get paid. End of discussion. Coach, you got anything else?
That's it on me.
All right, man. We done talked about everything. We done talked about Tank. We talked about Shakur. We done talked about that boy T.O. We done talked about Janet Beck coming down, getting a check. We done talked about all of that. Y'all continue to follow us, man. Though on a serious note, this is the beginning, Genesis. Y'all know what I say. Continue to follow us on this journey. I've been posting on the channel. I dropped our last video on the channel. So we 4 videos deep. Go check all them videos out. Right? Check this one out. Right? Y'all continue to support us. Continue to be there for us. We're going to continue to be there for y'all. If you want to debate, get in the comment section. You want to go live, you know what it is. Go to Boss Out Boxing. Me and Coach ain't running from nothing. I'm Boss. That's Coach. I'm out of here.